He's a mess. He's a coach. He's the hot mess life coach. What's up, you guys? It's your hot mess life coach Kevin coming at you. I do apologize that it's been god awfully so I cannot talk god awful long since I last posted my video. It was about 2 months ago. This is the part 2 of my friendship advice. The part 1 was relating to toxic friends and how to handle it. And this one is the same thing, but more or less moving forward from those kinds of toxic relationships. Just hang out with me for a bit while I ramble. I kind of had some of the topics planned out, but more or less it's just going to be me rambling on because I don't have anything like specifically written out. It's more just like, oh, here's like how to overcome and how it's better for you kind of thing. So just bear with me, okay? But first, I wanted to let you know that I'm drinking some amazing blueberry coffee with some caramel sea salt hydrate powder stuff that my best friend Emily had sent me for my birthday. It's delicious. Normally I drink my coffee iced because I'm gay and bougie, but I don't have any ice, so I'm drinking it hot. So it'll be fine. But I like ice. It's cold, like my soul. Anyway, on to the topic at hand. Moving on from toxic friendships, okay. I personally don't really have any any kind of experience with this because I love all my friends and I'm very like neutral. I'm like Switzerland, okay. Like it is what it is, you know, kind of thing. So what I wanted to talk about, is how to overcome that kind of stuff, and then how it's better for you, and that person too, in that kind of relationship. So like moving on from toxic friends obviously can be difficult, especially if you've been in that friendship for ages, like my longest friendship has been, God, about 20 years. So like the majority of my life, I've been best friends with my friend Emily. I've known her for like ever. So, those kinds of things. So like if something were to happen, obviously it would be very hard to get over that kind of relationship that you've had with that person for so long. But that's not going to happen because I love her. And she loves me. So moving on from that, but, this is the part 2 that my one friend Katie had suggested because at the time she was going through a situation with her one friend, and she wanted me to do like an advice topic, friendship advice topic for my videos. So this is that part 2. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go check out my part 1 video. It was like the last video that I posted 2 months ago, handling toxic friendships and what may cause it and that kind of stuff. And this is the part 2 on how to move forward from those kinds of relationships. Obviously I'm just gonna be rambling a lot. I like to say that I'm organized, but I'm very bad at planning what I want to do. Sorry, a call had come in real quick and I had to decline it because I don't like answering my phone. Anyway, so how to overcome and move on from toxic friendships. So firstly, like, there are multiple ways you can move on from toxic friendships. Obviously, you can just like straight out cut that person out of your life. You don't have to give an explanation. I mean, obviously, it's better if you do, so that way you don't have like that regret on your shoulders moving on in life. You're like, what if, I told them, like why I cut them out instead of just straight out cutting them cold turkey and giving them no explanation on why. like sometimes if you give them that explanation, they'll like, oh, you know, like, I didn't know like I was doing that. You know, sometimes they're able to reflect on that and go get the help, or just like rethink on the relationships, you know, try to better themselves so that way they don't bring that toxicity or anything else to like further relationships. And the same could go for you as well. Like obviously, you know, you could also be the one that's toxic, and you know, if that's the case, try to suggest, you know, like maybe reaching out to your friends and let them know, be like, hey, you know, reflect on what you've been doing and ask them, be like, hey, is, you know, am I doing something wrong? Is there like a way that maybe you can point out to me that I've been doing? Maybe help me, kind of that kind of thing, you know, move over those obstacles with them. And, you know, that will better your relationship and build a stronger bond. And, you know, ultimately better relationships further on for future relationships. So that's a good thing too. Something about like overcoming those relationships is definitely would be, you know, a hard thing to do. So sorry, needed my coffee. Overcoming those kinds of relationships would definitely be very hard, you know. Like I was saying, like especially if you've been in that relationship for years, even if it was just like a brand new kind of thing, you know, it's still gonna hurt for both parties, you know, because nobody wants to just move on and be hurt, but you know, sometimes it just is what it is. Especially like, for example, like this isn't like a toxic thing, but like moving on from friendships, like high school friends, you know, your best friends all throughout high school and that kind of thing, and then you graduate, move on to different colleges, different parts of the country and stuff, and you know, you just don't keep in contact like you did back then because you saw each other like all day, every day. You did all kinds of out school activities, and you just kind of grow apart. You know, you guys are all adults now, you know, different interests rather than, you know, the stuff that you had in high school. So, you know, that kind of thing, you can always grow apart and move on from toxic relationships, because it's obviously, oh, excuse me, ultimately going to be better for your health, especially if you're in that kind of situation. You know, always do what's best for you, is what I always say. And you know, it is what it is, okay? There's nothing you can really do. You can obviously give the tools to that person and let them know, be like, hey, you know, I'm feeling such and such way about our friendship. Maybe we could sit down and talk about it. And if they don't want to do that, you know, that's ultimately their choice. You know, the most you can do is give that person the tools, and it's ultimately up to them to decide to take those tools and make an action from it. So obviously, that's one way to overcome it, but obviously there's lots of different other ways to overcome it. Like I was saying, it's going to be hard. You know, nothing in life is ever going to be easy. So, you know, other ways to do that, it's just dealing with your stress as well from that kind of thing. You know, like write like a letter to that friend. You don't always, like, you don't have to send it to them. You can just do it for yourself, for your mentality. Like sometimes it's really good to write out the words or just say it to yourself. But normally it's a lot better to like write out your feelings. I do that sometimes. I have a journal that I haven't used it in a while, but I kind of started using it last year, just writing out my feelings, and it helped. But I haven't done that lately, and I should start doing that again. But that's one way to overcome. It's just like processing how you're feeling, whether it be through writing, through art, through, you know, exercise, literally anything kind of. So that's one way to kind of overcome that stress and that anxiety from that kind of relationship, and ultimately it's going to be better for you, mentally and sometimes even physically, because you're moving on and bettering yourself. Don't hate the person, just ultimately do better for yourself, and they'll come to realize, hey, maybe I shouldn't have done that shit in the past, and have those kinds of regrets and stuff. But obviously I think it would be, instead of just like cutting people out, you'd want to give them an explanation on why you're doing so, so that way they're not like always thinking about, what, like, fuck that person, why'd you just cut me out, and then continue on to be toxic in further relationships when they could have found out, like, hey, I didn't realize I was acting such and such way and bringing that kind of energy into our relationship, and try to get that kind of help that they would need. So yeah, that's what I would suggest on that kind of stuff. But I really wish I had like more examples and things to provide you from my own personal experiences, because I can't say for like other people, but I would definitely have like a bunch of other topics that I cannot talk, other topics that I would want to talk about with you guys further on. So like if there's anything like you want me to talk about, or anything you want to hear, or if there's anything that you're personally going through, reach out to me. I'll leave my email address at the bottom in the description area if there's anything you want to talk about, or you can even just mention it in the comments if you want, and I'll check it out, and I'll reach out to you and go from there. So I literally cannot talk anymore, gosh, get so tongue-tied. But I do apologize for the lateness of this video. I know it was like 2 months ago since my last one. Life has just been a struggle. I moved out of my brother's house and went into my own apartment. I had gotten a new job, and it's just trying to deal with a bunch of everything else going on in my life. Still a whole new state, still trying to figure things out, make some new friends. So it's been a lot. So I've been taking some time to myself, but I'm doing better, feeling better. Just got out of the shower, shaved my head, feeling good. So again, yeah, thank you for tuning in, listening to me ramble. Like I was saying, if there's anything else that you guys want to hear me talk about, or if there's anything you want me to talk about personally, let me know. Put it in the comments. Like and subscribe. That would be awesome, but you don't have to. Do what you want, okay? Live your life. Anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and peace out, bitches.